What is going on, everybody? We're back with a special edition episode of the Pound / Marvel Media Podcast, where we're covering something not even Marvel related, as you can tell if you clicked into this video.
Yeah.
So we're going to be talking about the new Mortal Kombat movie. Please be warned, there will be spoilers. There will be... Yeah, there'll be spoilers. There'll be foul language, the normal.
I'll try.
We have a special guest. This is Kat. If you watch the Hella Depraved channel, her and I are Hella Depraved on YouTube.
She blipped into existence. Somehow she got into our YouTube channel.
Where'd
she come from?
We do music reactions.
I'm a witch.
That's what I said. She blipped into it. I was like, oh, there she is.
So we're gonna kind of
my nose though.
we're gonna kind of talk about the Mortal Kombat movie. We're gonna give our opinions on specific aspects of the movie, then give our overall opinions of things.
All right.
And give what we think series predictions could be, as well as probably our overall review scores, I guess, if we have them.
Yeah.
So starting off, acting. Acting is probably one of the most important aspects of any movie.
Yeah.
And I have to honestly say, in my opinion, this is the best cast in a Mortal Kombat movie.
Yeah, everybody was all representation of each other. Yeah.
I'll agree. I'll agree with that.
I feel like, so again, there is, just like with you, with me, a special place that the original Mortal Kombat will always have.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
In my heart. I grew up with it. It was fantastic for its time.
Yeah, I was born before it came out.
Also true.
I watched it.
Yeah. I grew up with it.
Yeah,
I grew up with it. I watched it in 2000.
He grew up after.
Three or
Grew
four.
up after it.
Yeah.
But I did watch it though. It was good. It's one of my top 10. Yeah.
It is definitely one of my guilty pleasures and comfort movies. So I've seen the first one. I can't even. I don't know how many times.
Right. So overall, acting wise, like I said, overall, I feel like the acting was above and beyond, honestly, what I expected.
Oh,
yeah, they were all incredible representations of the characters.
Right.
I kind of do miss some things.
Okay.
I do think the guy that originally played Liu Kang was a better Liu Kang.
I agree.
Yeah.
I felt like the Liu Kang in this movie was a little...
He was a bit more sniveling, honestly.
Sniveling and just kind of...
I would say like a whiny person.
No.
Yeah. Well, it's sniveling isn't quite as whiny, but it's like, okay, so he definitely took second place to Kung Lao.
He should have been Liu Kang.
And I just kind of feel like they normally are portrayed as more equals.
Right.
But he definitely took a second place and like almost like a hero worship aspect because he was found as an orphan and then here's a guy that like takes him in as family and so on and so forth and it just he just didn't have the core strength of character that the original movie showed.
Right. And then the only other comparison that I have a hard issue with in terms of the new ones is also, as you and I have talked, Raiden.
Yeah.
Now, it's not to say this new guy wasn't a good Raiden. Right. But I do feel like there is some, what is it called? Some, I am a little biased.
Okay.
From Christopher Lambert.
Christopher Lambert's portrayal.
Yeah, Christopher was
just because, again, that is what I grew up with.
Right.
And I always felt like he was a perfect representation of Raiden as a kid.
He's got that great, like, hardcore but also snarky
and his
personality.
Voice is awesome.
I think my complaint is not so much with the actor because, honestly...
He did a fine job.
My complaint is you don't know if he did a good job or not because he really hadn't... He wasn't a developed character in this.
No, right.
He didn't have that much of a story. He wasn't shown as the person manipulating them all to the boat or anything like that. Like, there's just very little dialogue with him.
Yeah, he only showed for like a couple minutes and
so,
okay.
Yeah, so back? I kind of feel like maybe they were just introducing him and hopefully he'll have a larger actual role where you actually get to know the actor and how he's going to portray this later.
Right.
But I do feel like it's a missed opportunity, kind of like you're saying, because he is such a integral character to this whole thing, and it just really felt like they kind of skipped over him almost.
And the other now there are two characters that were 100% stand out to me. First one being Sonya Blade.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
I definitely feel like the lady that got to play Sonya Blade in this one, which I don't remember what her actual name is.
Right.
But I definitely think she was
built
leaps and bounds better.
Right. She was like built for this role. Like,
Sonya
damn,
Blade.
like, that is Sonya Blade for real. Like,
I mean, I'll agree with that. They also gave her a better script, obviously, but I agree.
And then, in my opinion, the show out performance of the entire movie, as much as I hate to say, because I hated him in the first movie as a character, but Kano in this movie. Kano was so entertaining, and it's one of those things where he was entertaining to the point where you really didn't like him.
Yeah.
But you're not supposed to, so
But you definitely found him to be hilarious.
Like, this guy's an asshole. That's his whole personality.
I feel like this guy is really douchey, and he's on everyone's nerves. But on the flip side, like
little things he would say in the movie, like, by the way, the beer you have here sucks.
Right.
But there's also no more left.
No more left. Right. I mean, I'm gonna drink it, but it still sucked though, bro.
I'm still, you're over there fingering your anal beads. That is still my favorite out of all of it. But yeah, like, he was antagonistic.
Oh yeah.
He was self-centered. Like, he portrayed Kano perfectly.
And we still got some fights out of him.
The only complaint I have with Kano, literally, is a part of the story.
Right.
And it's how easy he switched over to being with the bad guys. It wasn't like a confrontation and they had a conversation during the fight or anything like that. It was literally Cabal being like, hey, you should join us, and Kano being like, okay.
Yeah, I mean,
I didn't
he's
like
protected behind the shield. Like, there's the whole... I mean, I know that he's self-serving and, like...
I thought he was going to fight Cabal.
Nah, he's completely into money and so on and so forth. So being offered that much money to switch sides, but on the flip side, like, I felt like the real Kano would have wanted to know...
I feel like the real Kano would have talked more shit before.
Yeah. Well, and he also would have wanted a little bit more of a presentation.
That's like, I thought he was
not just money, but like, tell me about some benefits. Tell me more.
Right. Don't say, hey, you want to join? No. Tell me, like, why am I joining your henchman
group? Because I mean, to be fair, Sonya promised him $3 million.
Yeah.
That obviously he was never going to be able to collect on. But how does he? He just switched so easily. He didn't even ask Cabal to like show him proof that he was going to get paid, and of course he still didn't get paid. He got killed.
Right.
And that. Yeah, that's...
But I'll agree with that. I honestly, Scorpion and Sub-Zero...
They did fantastic as well.
...were fantastic, and I was so happy that they started with the backstory.
And they brought that rivalry that's been there for about, 20 years, 30 years in there? Like, that rivalry...
Now, before we get too far into the story, that's actually the last thing I feel like we need to touch on.
Okay.
Special effects.
Right.
In this movie. Were almost all fantastic.
Yeah, definitely.
I'm going to say almost all fantastic because there were a couple of moments that they were a little underwhelming.
Little hits here and there.
First one being, the first problem I had. So Liu Kang used his fireball initially.
Right.
And it actually looked really cool when he did it. He did a little hand motion.
And he went down, and that dragon came out.
I'm talking about the fireball.
Oh, the fireball.
When he threw it at Kano.
Kano, yes, he did, yep.
And then that fire dragon was really cool. But there was just a small moment where he was using the fire in his hand to light the way.
Yeah.
And it looked so fake.
Right.
All the others were so well done.
I think maybe because it was in a darkly lit
area.
He
said, well, here, let me light this.
And
let me light
so
the fire
it
for
was
you.
just much more obvious that it wasn't real.
Like, it wasn't meant for that to be, spectacular. Right.
Well, I mean, they just did better when the area was lit up with the effects.
Right.
I'll agree. Most of the effects were fabulous.
Yeah.
And then another one I was kind of having issues with was Jax. Once he actually got the full-blown metal arms. Now, he started off with the rinky-dink ones, and I get that.
The rinky-dinky ones.
But once he got the full-blown metal arms, it didn't feel like it was moving with his body the way it was supposed to.
Right. Like it was
I don't know.
Yeah.
Like whenever he would pick stuff up or move stuff, like the arms just felt off for me.
Right. Okay. Which is something that I'm hoping, like I said when we watched it, that they resolve and kind of make it more, like a learning process that he had to go through.
Like maybe he'll get like another middle arms again.
Well, no, like because he had never had them before.
Right.
Like maybe they'll play it off as he had to learn how to correct them, you know.
Honestly, what I'm hoping for, I'm hoping they have some sort of prosthetic or something for him to wear that just looks metal. And it makes it look like he just has metal arms. Think like Winter Soldier.
Right.
Yeah.
Or something, maybe not, obviously not as skimpy, but something that when he actually moves his arms, they move with him.
Right. They move
instead of CGIing in metal arms for him.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. Because when I saw it, I was like, well, why don't they just give him like what they did with Winter Soldier? Just like that.
Unless you do a full-blown CGI character, Hulk, thing, whatever.
It's kind of...
It's kind of disconjointed.
Yeah.
Right.
But other than that, like the fight scenes, whenever blood splatter was used and things like that, like they did really well with the gore aspect, and I like that they kind of.
I'm over here grinning. I'm like, that was so great.
I like that it was over the top, but I also like that it wasn't Kill Bill over the top.
It was still in the level of realism. Honestly, they did a lot of arterial spray, and that gets really messy, and but they did a good job of it. You're right. It wasn't spaghetti Western
like boom,
style,
blood, gore, blood, splatter.
Well, I mean, in Kill Bill, it's like you watch it like pump. Granted, arterial spray does pump, but like that's excessive. That's like Kill Bill level.
That's literally the one thing that turned me off from even enjoying Kill Bill. Once she got into that first fight scene in the first movie of Kill Bill, I turned it off. I was like, no, I can't get into this.
See, I still enjoy it, but
it was the ending where she's fighting all the henchmen. And that was like
I enjoy a lot of gore. However, I agree with you. I laugh my way through that movie because it is cheesy. Right. Whereas this, this was great.
Especially now again, we'll touch more on some of the issues I have with it, but I did like the Kung Lao finishing maneuver.
Man,
where he skates on her body and then slices her in half.
Body.
Just the way they did the gore there was very well done and very well detailed.
I also liked the spiral fractures that Sub-Zero caused in Jax's arms. Like, I like that they showed the breaking of his bones as they were being twisted, because
and his reaction when it's like, whoa, my shit's about to break. Like, he's literally breaking your shit as like you're right. As from touching.
But normally they won't add that detail of like seeing the bones starting to protrude and everything. They'll just show the end result of
boom,
like
explosion,
exactly.
So at least they put some effort into it. They did put effort into it.
And detail.
Detail and effort. Yep.
So speaking of, and this plays into the effects as well, the fight scenes in this movie.
Yeah.
Were I felt either very well done or very lazily done. I don't feel like there was much of a middle ground.
Right.
And here's what I mean by that. You look at every fight scene Scorpion and Sub-Zero got into, whether it was as Hanzo and whatever the other dude's actual real name was.
Beyond.
Yep. Beyond, whatever his name is. Bihan.
Yeah, Bihan.
Yep. So whether it was them as their human selves, or later on down the line, them as their ninja selves. Yep. Anytime they fought each other, or honestly, most of the time, anytime they fought anyone else, the scenes were very well done.
Right.
So no one else got hurt.
Right.
They're like, this could get messy.
Right.
Y'all need to practice and practice well, my children.
Practice all the time.
Yeah.
Practice makes perfect.
Anything they were involved in was really good. Now, here's where I feel some of it was lazy.
Oh dear.
Liu Kang versus Cabal.
Oh.
They barely fought.
No, they did. Well, the difference of power level too. Like Liu Kang was like.
Yeah, but Liu Kang is supposed to be a badass.
Yeah.
But pretty much the fight was Liu Kang kicked him into some tar.
Yeah.
Call on the dragon.
Right.
There wasn't much else.
Yeah.
Well, and that's after getting his ass completely beat the first round.
Right.
Right, because Cabal literally
had him pinned to a wall.
Well, he's fast. Cabal is fast, bro. That's it. Like the power level is.
Yeah, but Liu Kang's been in the temple for fucking ever. He should.
Well, he a bitch. I'm just
gonna.
And then
a bitch anyway.
Was it Melina?
Yeah, poor Melina.
Melina's fight with not the first one, the one she had with Sonya initially was actually pretty decent.
Yes,
right, that was decent.
But then she went on to fight what's his face? Cole.
Yeah.
And literally the entire fight was disappear, reappear, disappear, reappear. Like, she didn't actually try and fight.
Which is so sad because, as like I was saying earlier to you guys, she's supposed to have been like 1,000 years old. She was the assassin.
Yeah,
for
these
the
ages
Emperor.
were weird, man.
Like, so in 1,000 years, and as like the #1 assassin for the Emperor, she was supposed to be badass. Right. And not just with the disappearing, reappearing act, but like
that's supposed to be used as a tool for fighting,
right?
Not she her only way to fight,
and for transport.
And I legit feel like they missed an opportunity.
So yeah,
because I almost feel like they were afraid to show an actual man and woman fighting each other and really being into it.
Well, I mean, they should
other
have
than
knocked
Kano
down,
and Sonya.
I was just gonna say, knock down, drag out, like white trash.
Because Kano and Sonya were going in on each other.
It was a white trash fight.
Knock out, drag out.
They were in a trailer. They were knocking through windows. Oh God, mirrors.
This is Kill Bill shit.
Like there's some bottles going on. Like I absolutely love the ending, but she took out his like fucking brains with a like garden gnome. I mean, come on now. What else would you label that kind of fight?
Right.
That's so funny shit. Hey, I did laugh.
But now that you mentioned Melina, like one of my biggest complaints is where's Katana? And I don't need her to be like a central character in terms of like maybe they're saving her for, you know, the next movie or anything. But the fact of the matter is she is almost always with her sister.
Right.
And so unless they should have scripted it saying, since Katana is with the Emperor, or just given her a place to be to
like
excuse her absence. Right. Yeah, like.
But then it's like you go to like the relic area, you just see her little knife, her little fan knife. I'm like, that is not what I mean. That's cool. That's whatever. But I need to know where is she?
Exactly. What the not fuck? Even having any kind of excuse.
You could even have Melina and Katana play the same fucking character. They're supposed to be like sister siblings or whatever.
Well, I mean, Melina's the clone, but it's just weird that she wasn't mentioned and or at least shown in the Outworld scene where. You know, Melina's like
that would be the perfect place to put her at too.
One of the contestants escaped, but one of them was killed. Something like that. Like she wasn't.
Yeah, you could say Katana got killed. Like,
she wasn't even pretty. No, Katana. Again, they're over 1,000 years old, and they're the best assassins. Like the fact that she died so quickly.
Yeah, that's bad there too.
And then think of this. This was something else. The flying chick that Kung Lao kills.
The Huntress.
The Huntress.
Yeah, the Huntress, Natara.
It's literally the only time she's ever attacked anyone in this entire movie, and she misses and dies for it.
Yeah, she misses and dies.
There was no fight there.
Yeah, there really was no fight.
Well, and he like stands there and he's like, "Oh, I'm gonna listen for her," and she's supposed to be one of his assassins.
Stealthy.
And what? She's gonna fucking scream on her way down.
I'm surprised Kung Lao lived
she
through
could
that,
tell
actually.
that his back was turned to her, like.
Right.
How is she the Huntress if she's gonna like make everyone aware of her presence? Hey bitches, I'm here! Like that does not work.
It's like she's supposed to be
how
like stealthy killer. Like right.
I could do a better job than this, obviously.
What the fuck, bro? Because how the hell? That's true. You know, Kung Lao's fatality was cool. How the hell did you live through that, bro? Like you wait a minute, bro. Well, hold on, fam. She's like older than you too, bro.
How did who live through it?
How did Kung Lao like live through it and shit, bro? Like no, I'm saying like.
He knew not to go through the blade.
No, I know that. He still should have died. I still said like he should have died.
Oh, you mean having her go after him in the first place?
Right, in the first place.
That brings up my complaint with as far as story goes.
Okay, because I'm like, bro, like what?
That was actually one of the things I meant to talk about downstairs that we never actually got into a conversation about.
Which is good because now we're recording.
Hello, bingo.
So Kung Lao, we all knew he was gonna die. That's his story.
Yeah,
that's what pushes Liu Kang over the edge to be willing to fight.
Yeah.
Cool. But to sit here and him not die in battle, to literally just be grabbed by Shang Tsung and then have his soul sucked out. Like there wasn't a fight.
He did like a Star Wars force pull. What the like gotcha. Like,
well, again, like so he pairs him up with the Huntress and honestly it wasn't doing either character justice. I loved his finishing move. Do not get me wrong.
Fatality was cold.
But there was no fight.
Right.
Like, none. She announced her presence.
I'm here!
And he killed her.
Yeah, that's it. That was straight. It was straight just, gone. Dead.
And then, like you said, he gets grabbed and his soul gets sucked.
Right, some Star Wars force pull. Like what? And that's it. Like,
they could have at least see what I kind of expected when he sent the hunters after her is that he would end up winning, but barely. And being
he should be
beaten up.
Right.
And then his soul would get sucked because he was lying on the ground or trying to recover.
He's like, you can't get up no more. So, okay, well, I'm just going to take your soul because you're down now. Like,
I just feel like it was a missed opportunity.
It was a waste opportunity. Waste potential.
And going back to the whole fighting scene, can we talk about how amazing it was for Jax to get probably one of the best decapitation scenes I've ever seen.
Oh my God.
He did a watermelon.
He clapped him.
He clapped his ass. Oh my God.
That was the best. He's like, round of applause.
As a matter of fact, the only decapitation scene I will say I think is actually better than that I've ever seen was AVP Requiem.
Oh yeah.
Oh shit.
There's a scene where the lady and that dude are in the cemetery and he's freaking out.
Right.
And he's the one that has a gun. He's standing up. He's like, "What are we gonna do?" And of course, Predator only attacks people
who has weapons,
who he considers a challenge.
A challenge.
Yeah. Not even a threat, just a challenge.
Okay.
It's game to him.
Right. He's like, okay, let's go. Game on. Bet.
So he sees the dude with the gun, and all of a sudden you see the laser point to his, blows him off, and takes him from the chin up, gone. So you still see his chin. I was like, that is one of the coolest decapitation scenes I've ever seen.
I mean, I guess it's not technically a decapitation. It's sort of a split. But I still like the lawyer in 13 Ghosts.
To be fair, Jax's also was not a decapitation scene. It was an explosion.
Right. But the lawyer in 13 Ghosts, when the glass sheet closes and it just chops him straight.
That's not a decapitation either, though. It's
I
just
know.
straight down the
I
middle.
know. That's why I said technically it's more of a split. But if we're talking about like absolutely well done, gory, shows brain matter type kills, that has to be one of my all-time favorites.
I would say Final Destination 1 where dude got his head taken off by the train.
That was a good one.
Boom! he said, well, who's going down? Bam! His head flat backward. I said, damn. You good, bro? No, his head is gone, bro.
But yeah, so...
Yeah, that's that fight. Well, go back to what you guys said.
That fight scene, there was also...
Sweet, bro.
There was also the fight that was... Which, in my opinion, was a weak fight.
Okay.
Regardless of how cool he looked. But Goro...
and
Cole.
And Cole.
Fucking Cole.
Because it's actually how Cole got his powers, because he got his ass whooped. But...
Cole should have died there, too.
He always got his ass whooped.
Right. Cole,
like,
how the
heck...
You killed Kung Lao, but Cole lit... What the... Okay.
Well, that was his claim to fame in the ring. The dude was like, what, a fight? Nah. This is going to be an ass whooping. You're going to be the one getting whooped.
And I was watching, I said, Cole about to die. Cole about to die. Right. Okay,
however,
here we go.
Yeah, like, he was supposed to be, like, the boss in the first movie, and then here he is, like, almost so perfectly recreated and updated, and just, like, this...
He looked badass.
Yeah.
Like I said before, well-polished and everything. Like,
here's this, old, fuzzy, grained version of him from the first one, and this one was, like, clear as day, HD, perfect, and then that...
Right.
Like, he was tossing bodies in the first one. He was going through so many of the warriors. And then in this one, he's like, I don't know, gets kicked in the nuts and cries.
Yep.
Right.
Basically. I mean, like, granted, he got kicked in the nuts in the other one. But, like, it just wasn't...
Like, you
I think that's my biggest complaint about this one, is they took some of the most badass warriors on both sides. But all of the bad guys were fodder. They barely any of them stood up to their they barely stood up to their potential.
Right.
And again, I don't think they made a good choice of people. For instance, I wouldn't have put Cabal in the movie. I think they literally just put Cabal in the movie
to be a henchman.
To tie in Kano.
Yeah, they bring Kano to the dark
but
side.
They didn't need that.
Yeah, they didn't need to put him in there.
I honestly think they should have left Cabal out. Put Baraka in.
Yeah, I would have been cool. Yo, yeah, I would like to have seen that.
Now, I will say, though, another really good fight scene, and not even because the fight scene itself is amazing, but just everything that was happening with it while it was happening, was Reptile versus Sonya Kano.
Oh, that was damn good.
And again, okay, I still have issues with this version of Reptile because, again, the first few games, Reptile was a ninja.
Right. This
Not
reptile is like
not an actual
anamorphic being.
Although he has been turned into a reptile as the series has gone on. That's
right. Even in the
now.
video games, he's been turned into
So
a
I get
reptile.
But this was technically a prequel. So he hasn't been turned into one.
Right. Well, it
Shouldn't have been.
Again, according to the games now, and it's something like at some point I want to go through and watch at least all the cutscenes with you.
Right.
He's never been a ninja.
Got it.
As of where they are in the games now.
Yeah, he's like a full-blown anamorphic.
Yeah, he's just an anamorphic reptile.
Tail, acid and everything. Yep.
But I always like there being a green ninja. That's why I like. Anyways, sorry.
His powers were cool though. That stealthy and acid. Like goddamn, he was a problem.
being
And let's just talk about how ingenious Kano was.
Bro, he went
dynamite
to stab the flare into him.
Yep.
Yeah.
So you could track him.
Like,
right.
There you are. It's like, yeah.
Because literally you couldn't see him. He was gone.
But
he was literally gone, man.
Again, though, my favorite moment of that whole fight scene is when Sonya throws the knife. You could tell on purpose to hit him.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Reptile had done left.
Right.
And he's swinging at nothing. And she
he's
launches the knife.
And he calls her on it later, and she just goes,
Me.
yeah.
Fine. It's okay. Like, it's alright. I mean, I'm like, because Reptile is stealthy as fuck, bro.
You gonna cry? Yeah.
So, now going to the overall story. This is where I feel like the movie's dragged down.
Oh, dear.
In my opinion.
Yeah, that's the word.
It's not a terrible story.
No.
It's not a terrible story. Man. But here's the problem. First off, you're giving me a Mortal Kombat movie with no tournament, which is a lot of people's complaints. I get it's supposed to be a prequel setting up for whatever this last tournament's going to be. Cool. But honestly, it should have been a part of the movie. That's what Mortal Kombat is.
Man, it's always been about the tournament. It's
now,
like, we fight, tournament, let's go.
Yeah, as I said before, I would have been okay with the ending being the beginning of a tournament. Like,
you said just them just going like, on the boat.
All you see is, like, they are on the boat and it's taking off.
And they're like, where are we going?
I would have been okay with that. Just knowing that is the next step, and the second movie that they're planning isn't going to be a shit ton more prequel before tournament.
I swear.
But that would at least have involved the idea of the tournament there.
Right.
And we'll get more pre-story before the tournament, but I do think we will get the tournament in the next movie.
Right.
But they've got to collect a few more quote-unquote champions.
Right.
We already know for sure they're going to go get Johnny Cage.
Right. He's going to Hollywood.
That's where Cole was going to be headed.
Right.
I don't know who else they plan on bringing into it. They might get Stryker.
Yeah, I was like Stryker. Yeah, Stryker. Yeah,
Stryker kind of sucks though, because honestly, Cole is Stryker, just not cop-wise.
Yeah,
because Stryker, I don't know if you know who Stryker is, but Stryker was a cop that was one of Sonya's partners.
Right.
But he's the guy that fights with the batons. That's who I thought Cole was supposed to be. And
what are they called?
Fucking Cole, bro.
Nightsticks.
Yeah. But yeah, it's just.
But and then the next problem I had, again, I loved how it started, with showing how Scorpion and Sub-Zero were back way in
16.
Sure, I guess.
Whenever it was.
Because they're old as hell too.
Like
16,
14.
God damn.
Yeah.
But that little thing going on was really cool, and then seeing Scorpion fade. And then I actually got excited when Raiden came and picked up the kid. I was like, oh, it's so cool.
Yeah, he came. Got him. Picked him up.
One of the things I'm glad they didn't do that I kept calling that I thought was going to happen, I thought Cole was going to turn into Scorpion.
Right.
I would have loved to actually seen that, though,
no, but I'm glad that they made him his own individual person. But he's just an ancestor,
It definitely set up the coolest 2-on-1 fight scene I've probably seen since Iron Man versus Cap and
they
Winter
synchronized that so well. I wish that they
it was longer.
I wish it was.
Because they then, like, send them into their separate corners again and so on and so forth. I wish they had kept the synchronization part of it going longer.
Right.
Because they were working well together, man. They were.
Oh, hell yeah. Yeah.
Also, story plot-wise, they did the same story trope that I hate in every movie that happens. There's always somebody that knows exactly what's going on, even though they have nothing to do with it.
Nothing to do with this story.
Yeah,
and this
she's
time
not
it
even
was
a
Sonya.
Contestant at that point.
They're gonna be on Mortal Kombat.
Boom.
Like, join us next week on Jerry
Roll
Springer.
credits.
Next week on Dragon Ball Z. Like,
they should have just had a dun dun.
Right.
Like, That is one thing I will say, plot-wise, was much better in the first movie. I liked them being almost tricked,
manipulated,
into joining the tournament, and then they get there, and they're like, "Okay, now it's a fight for our
like,
lives."
Where are we? Like, how do we?
But it's also like the greatest way to introduce the supernatural element was to be manipulated as mortals.
Right,
into this for their own individual reasons. Johnny Cage for fame.
Right.
Sonya Blade to get revenge, to chase Kano.
Right.
Kano because he was told that he would get Sonya in the end.
And he might get money or wealth,
well, fame.
You're promised a part
power.
of Outworld world,
right,
whatever we're going to call it when they're combined.
It's the desert part, but no, I mean, like, you will be buried, but it's cool. You'll own the 6-foot plot.
It's like, we're going to bury your ass in that shit, bro.
And then Liu was the only one that knew what was going on because he was raised in the Temple of Light, which made sense.
He's like,
right.
It's a tournament. Like,
and then during that whole exposition, when she's going through and explaining to Cole.
I don't like that either. Exposition, Jesus Christ.
When she's going through a whole thing and explaining everything to Cole, and they're going through everything in passing. And then you see something like Nightwolf in the book. Yeah, he's an old champion. And it's like, so now we know he's dead. So we know Nightwolf can't really be used in the future. And honestly, Nightwolf, is a good Native American representative character in the series.
He would have been,
unless he's resurrected.
Matoka Nation, all that shit, man.
But he's also just a good character,
period. Well, a good character also,
Even though Annihilation fucked him up.
Your animality, your spirit animal. Like, what the what?
Animagus. Although, now, I said this before. I could have been behind Sonya having done research to an extent.
Right.
Because of the way that they made Jax adapt the champion mark.
Right, the Arcana.
And they said that it was just the mark at that point. But it was like 6 or 7 years previous to the events of this movie. So I can see them being special forces and researching what the hell this was. They had a paranormal experience. That's how he got the mark. She maybe should have been allowed to collect all of this kind of myth and lore.
Right.
But the fact that she knew what Outworld was, she knew what the tournament actually was and what the purpose of it was.
Yeah, she knew Mortal Kombat and Outworld.
That's the part that lost me. Like, I feel like she should have... If that's the story they were going to go with, should have gathered all this info and been like, I know that there's more champions. I know that a lot of them have been killed because Jax and I were trying to track them down to see if they knew anything about this.
Right.
I don't know what the fuck this all means, but I do know that it's been going on for centuries. There's all this myth. Blah, blah, blah. She could have presented it that way.
I'd be like, Sonya Blade, are you 1,000 years old too?
Well, but who's she been talking to?
And that too?
I mean, that's the thing is basically Earth has already lost 9 tournaments, so who the hell is around to tell her all of this? Right. She hasn't been to the Temple of Light. She couldn't find it. So it's not like Raiden popped by and was like...
She knows tournament, but she hasn't been a part of a tournament? Like, that's kind of weird, man. Like... Jesus, like, you've never been part of, like, the tournament, but you know about it. Like,
yeah, what? It's just that she had the full concept like, down, and that trope is old. Like, she could have just had this gathering of stuff and been like,
I don't know what
this
is.
I know we're all connected somehow, but and this looks fucked up and everything. Everybody else is dead. I'm not sure where to go with this, and then
right, because it's like boom, and then Liu Kang comes in and like, explains that shit.
And then Raiden could have manipulated, pulled strings, you know, to get them to the temple.
But just say, "Oh, I know all of this." It's like, "Oh, you do."
Well, that, and she knew that they had to hunt down the Temple of Light, and guess who just happens
to know where the Temple of Light is.
Where it is.
I hate that trope.
Nobody else that Sonya, with all of this information, had spoken to knew where it was, and Kano's like.
Right, did he?
I got you.
But I ain't gonna lie, that is kind of, but that's some Kano shit. That made me laugh. Like, oh, you know it? Like me.
He's like, I know. By the way, I'm not gonna tell you. Fuck y'all. Goodbye.
Right.
I love
you guys are weird.
I will say I love that exchange though that they have because she's like $2 million, and he's like, you don't have $2 million. You live in a trailer.
I've lived here my whole life.
You're living in a damn trailer. You said white.
But then that it kind of reverses because he finally agrees to it and goes inside. And then the guy looks at her and he goes, you got $2 million? She's like, dude, I live in a trailer my whole life.
She's like, I live here. Yeah.
Right.
What do you
think?
Have
that. He ain't give a shit.
I did just, move from New Mexico. Trailers are notorious for being moneymakers, though.
True.
Nice.
Yeah.
You guys both now brought up the Arcana, which is my next problem with this movie.
I'm waiting. I brought it because I knew that was gonna be the fucking thing that's gonna piss your shit off. It's Arcana, bro.
I 100% am cool with the symbol of it being as a sign that you are a champion.
Right.
The actual mark. Right. Yeah.
I am 100% not cool with it being an excuse for power.
I got power now. Boom.
Because not once in the video games.
Right. Yeah. No.
Or in the previous movie.
Have they ever even needed to explain how people have these powers? It's just a part of this world that this game has built.
Now, my thing that I said before was for newcomers to Mortal Kombat, that would be a plot hole if they didn't have an explanation. However, we had said that because we're using, a temple, yada yada, that meditation, focusing the chi, a lot of stuff that martial artists do in general could have been used as an explanation.
Right. Like, instead of just explaining, you should have just showed it. Instead of in a way.
Instead of just like, because you're marked, you now are endowed with special powers, and you
just
must
have to
look
find
inside yourself. I hate that, by the way.
What
that is a trope.
Cartoon trope is that you gotta find it, believe.
Look inside yourself.
You gotta look inside yourself.
I'd be like,
organs.
Fuck all the way off now.
I was gonna say, what type of anime trope is this?
Right.
Believe it. It's friendship.
It's much older than anime.
I don't know. It has been around. That trope has been around. The power of friendship is our truth, man.
The power of Christ compels you.
But no, because I feel like it also lessens the characters.
It really does.
Yeah, it does.
Because, a prime example, one of the things I've loved about the games is Sonya didn't even develop being able to shoot things from her wrists until later in the series. Like, I'm talking like game 9 or 10.
Yeah, 9 or 10, because
but
like, so
it's
mechanics.
something that she created.
Yeah, she created the mechanics.
That she wore to be able to shoot.
It was no like, I got powers.
Now all of a sudden it's like, I got the symbol. Look what I can do. And you notice she's the one person that didn't struggle to figure out how to use her power. She just pops in, bam, you're down. Look what Kano gave you.
And you know what's so sad is like the entire time I love the way that they played her character.
Right.
In terms of she's the only one that's not a marked champion.
But she's the most badass.
The badass.
Right, she's the most badass.
Yeah, like she's the one that's running this operation. And then so it cheapened her character to be like
her getting the symbol for killing Kano. Cool.
Perfect.
That means she's allowed to be in the tournament now. But don't use it as like, now I can shoot magical shit from my hands.
She should have gone to the room where they gave Jax his original.
Right, she should have been able to have the mechanical shit anyway.
And made them herself, and then been like, okay, now I can keep up with y'all. But again, I agree with you that they should have, if they were going to explain it, it needed to be something along the lines of meditation, chi, blah blah blah. They
could even went with the fact of Kiss of Death, like from the original Mortal Kombat games. Like wasn't that one of her powers? She'd kiss you then die or something.
She'd blow a kiss to you and blow you up.
Right, like that. That would have been some badass shit to actually see that. Right. Oh my god, that's a bomb. That's a little bomb that is going to get you.
But I just think any of them having supernatural powers, and the explanation is the mark, and
the
not
mark is mine.
how much they worked on themselves or worked on their martial arts or were actually worthy contestants. Right. Like it does kind of cheapen the characters.
You got the curse mark, Sasuke.
And some other things I kind of had issues with was there were definitely moments throughout the movie. While I know they were included as fan service, I feel like they drug the movie down for me.
Yeah. But like I said, we got fan service.
I didn't need Kano being like, Kano wins.
Oh, yeah. But it's funny, though. He don't like that, but I actually like that. I thought that was pretty interesting. Kano wins.
I didn't need Liu Kang being like, flawless victory. Like, dude.
That was it.
No.
All those scorpions, get over here.
Well, that's a part of his move, though.
That's
I know.
Yeah, but yeah.
That's why I said although.
The finish him, the flawless victories,
but you don't like
that.
The whole,
that's from an announcer in the game. That's not when you do something, and Kano doesn't do that in the game and say flawless victory or anything like that.
Yeah, it's out of place. I get it.
Shao say, your soul is mine multiple times.
Right.
Like, I wish that they had stuck with once.
Right.
Because, again, it's like within the same 15-minute clip that he says it at least twice, maybe 3 times, and it's like, dude, once was good.
Your soul is mine. Your soul is mine. Your soul is mine.
In the original Mortal Kombat, that's one of the things I loved about, again, it being a tournament setup. Because, again, Shang Tsung was the one making those announcements. They didn't have, like, announcers, but he was the one that was like, flawless victory.
Right.
Yeah.
And he'd be like, finish him.
Like, but he was the MC for the whole thing.
Right.
Yeah.
So, I didn't like the characters saying the things themselves.
Right.
I don't know why. Maybe I should have been a little more, hey, that's cool. But I was like, no.
Because somebody, like, said, no, that's like what you said.
I agree.
That's what you said. You like, now, someone who's never seen it be like, oh, that's pretty cool. Like, oh, flawless victory. Like, Kano wins. But somebody else like, what the hell?
But it also sounds really fucking conceited.
Yeah.
Because imagine this. It would have been cool if they'd have done some fight scenes a little differently. Okay. And, for instance, say we have the fight that's Cole and Liu Kang versus Cabal and Melina. Yeah, Melina. I make sure. I always get them confused.
Yeah, because he always confused me. I said, wait, did she see that? Like, nope, that's Melina.
I would have loved to have seen whoever win first. Honestly, I would have preferred the Melina fight to end first, and for Cabal and Liu Kang's to go a little longer. Yeah, and then I would have loved to have seen Cole, whenever, say, he's got Cabal against the ropes, maybe out of desperation, Cole being like, finish him!
Right. Instead of
Instead of just like generic, Kato wins.
Well, instead of a command, make it more like a desperate plea kind of thing. Yeah.
Right. So little things.
But then those things wouldn't be in there, like that flawless victory. They just would have been cut out.
No, but see, you can still do it a different way.
Say it.
You have somebody else that's watching. They're like, dude, that's a flawless victory.
Okay.
Like,
you can do like that.
Like show some emotion. Yeah. From an outside source. Yeah. I don't want the individual characters to be the ones to call their own thing.
It'd be like some outside like pedestrian flawless victory, dude. Like, thank you.
Honestly, it just made it sound conceited. Flawless victory.
That would be like 2 people fighting. And then one of them punching him being like, Toasty! Like, nah, that's not a...
She said Toasty. He said, no, bro, that's not how this works. That's not how fighting works.
It's not how it's supposed to work.
That's not how it's supposed to work. If we fight, be like, yo, flawless, I win, bro. I won.
Some other story decisions I absolutely love, to go on the flip side.
I like you try to flip it, too.
I love Scorpion's spear.
Yeah, Scorpion's
not being a creature that comes out of his hand.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
I like it being an actual weapon. And he had it hooked up into some machine inside that he was able to throw, control, suck back in. And it wasn't... Because, dude, as a kid, I'm not going to lie, seeing the thing come out of his hand, I was like, that's cool. But as I got older and I really started to watch
it's really stupid.
It's extremely cheesy.
Yeah, it looks stupid. And then it goes back in.
Here's the other big thing. So in the initial fight scene in this one, it's wicked cool because he's using the garden spade.
Right, and then he just
ties it to the rope.
Ties to it, and then he goes right into it.
But you will note that there are a couple times that after it's gone through human flesh, because butter, it sticks into a tree,
butter and paper,
right? And he just yanks it, and it comes back out of the tree, and we're all good.
Right.
If you remember, what is it? Is it the original movie or is it Annihilation? Doesn't matter. The creature that comes out of his hand, it is the original because Johnny Cage.
Right, Johnny Cage fights him. Right.
Well, he darts, it like wraps around the tree, but then the creature's head
still going.
Well, it bashes into the tree and it explodes in blood because it's a living creature. And I was like,
honestly, that should probably hurt Scorpion.
Right, wouldn't that hurt? Yeah, because it's one with you.
It did give Johnny like an escape and blah blah blah, but it's like no. If that's meant to be a weapon, it should probably
be a weapon.
Not die once it hits a tree. Like, does it regenerate? Right.
And then Sub-Zero's character. Now, again, kind of something I don't like. I know a lot of people would disagree with this.
Right.
I'm still not a fan of Scorpion's outfit. I thought it looked a little basic. Because you see all the things he's adorned in the games and stuff. He's got like the skull belt. Right. And stuff like that. But like, so it looks kind of basic, which again, being a prequel movie.
Right. Yeah, I have to say like, okay. It's kind of basic. Maybe like later on you're going to get
that stuff,
But then Sub-Zero,
right.
Again, I liked the way he looked.
Right.
but I could have done without the metal armor. He's never been a metal armor
Yeah,
wearer.
he had like shoulder pad, football pads
he's a
on.
ninja.
Right.
Yeah,
Right. He should have like really for this, he should have less clothing. Right.
Well, they need to travel light. You
Right.
know?
Travel
like,
light. Right.
But story-wise, I love the way they did a lot of what it was that Sub-Zero did.
Yeah.
I feel like he was a very well-built character. In terms of like when he first, aside from the first fight where he's trying to eliminate all of is it Hanzo's family?
Hanzo's family and yeah.
He's trying to eliminate the bloodline.
Yeah.
Which I wish they would have gone into more detail as to why that feud is going on.
I think Sub-Zero's
I know why.
Reveiw.
Right. I know why.
We know why.
Right. We know.
But like,
right.
But people
new watchers don't.
Right. Like I said, people who like, what am I looking at? What is this?
So I wish they'd have gone into more detail as to why their family's feuding.
It should have just been Mortal Kombat.
But
Scorpion,
the problem is they'll go into that later down the line.
Right.
But see, you may
because
not have
that's
it
how
later.
Quan Chi
Right.
gets Scorpion to join. Anyways.
Right.
So
Spoiler.
No, but that's it. Like that.
Video game
I
history
will say
spoiler.
part of the thing that I really love that they did with those characters is they had Hanzo speaking in Japanese.
Yep.
And they had, but what is his first name? Whatever.
Oh, Bihan. Yeah.
Yeah, Bihan talking in Chinese.
Right.
But he was actually able to speak Japanese as well.
He
Right.
was.
He could go
But
back and
Hanzo
forth.
wasn't.
But Hanzo couldn't.
But I liked that they made them speak in the languages that they were supposed to,
Right.
versus it's all in English for the viewing pleasure of people who can't,
Right, like, what
read
they saying?
subtitles.
Like, I can't
Honestly,
read this
guys,
shit. And what is it?
As much as people probably would not want to admit it, you can actually thank Passion of the Christ for opening that door. A lot of people did not do that before. Passion of the Christ was one of the first movies in America to come out where they kept everything in the original language, so the Hebrew,
Hebrew
text, and then translate it.
Right.
And when they did it,
That's
and
it.
they realized people still went and watched it, they're like, "Hey, we could be a little more accurate."
Hey, we spend that money. Let's go.
Right. But I just like that they showed their true characters versus, turning everything into English. And of course, you find Sub-Zero can speak English down the line. However, Scorpion still isn't really speaking English by the end of this one.
Right.
I'm pretty sure he will. I mean, like, get over here, he says in English. But it's very little English, which actually would make sense for where he was based out of in Japan, and he's been in Hell. So, I mean, like, I'm not quite sure. That's probably where he learned get over here. But other than that, everything else he knew he could not say in front of children.
Right.
So,
R rating. Oh shit!
So like the time they to the like where they introduce Sub-Zero to the regular world, or the current world, I thought was really excellently done because it was like snowing.
Yeah, you saw that mist and snow and shit.
Everything started.
July.
Everything started freezing.
Right. Whoa.
And then all of a sudden he picked all the ice up.
Right.
And then slammed it down. Picks it back up again.
Right.
Like he's just walking down the street
he's literally
basketballing this shit.
Look what the fuck I can do. Y'all can't do this shit.
Like, okay.
Y'all can't do this shit. Like, damn, okay, Sub-Zero, do you.
And then it's just every little thing about Sub-Zero I feel like they went over and above and beyond with. Because like even again with the fight scene at the end of the movie when he's fighting against Scorpion and he does that thing where he slashes him with his sword and the Scorpion's blood spurts out and he reaches out, freezes it, and then stabs him with his own blood.
That's the X-ray killer. Right. That's the X-ray. When you play a game, that's the XYB. Oh, I'm doing a special move.
That was fantastic.
And then bam.
Very well done.
They made the wall of ice and threw his ass.
There was a time he was fighting Jax where Jax went to go shoot the gun and he froze the bullets in midair.
So great. It came out looking almost like tentacles.
Yep, like tentacles.
Yeah, it was an anemone.
Well, we know what
Jax,
they're thinking about.
again, other than Jax's arms, I felt like his character was also very well done.
Yeah.
Right.
And I know there's going to be some people that are going to wonder why he was willing to sacrifice himself. Yeah. I don't think he was sacrificing himself.
He didn't think he was.
He thought he had a chance to win.
Right.
And they had been...
We all know, like, bro, what are we looking at?
They've been chasing him for a long time.
Yeah, I know they have. I know, but...
So he was like...
vendetta against
he was
him.
like, this is my chance to finally get this motherfucker.
Plus, he was special forces at that point, and if you think about
well, because he even had that I served 5 tours, motherfucker.
Yeah, well, if you have that mentality and you have a rifle,
man, you should just let him go,
like,
bro.
he had a high-powered rifle, and they just, even though he knew he had paranormal aspects, obviously,
right?
Your brain doesn't. He's like, I've killed so many things with this gun.
Right.
There's no way. and he gets that close.
And he just looks
and then
at
he's
it.
just like, and he's like, oh. You see his face at that point go.
To be fair, he held his own for like 30 seconds. For like 30 seconds, he held his own.
Solid 30 seconds.
Look, that guy, Sub-Zero's like 4 centuries old, dude. He's got like mad martial arts.
He didn't even flinch. He didn't even phase when the gun went off, bro. He just like looked at it.
Yeah, but you're right. Jax held his own for a little bit there, I feel like Sub-Zero was just like
toying with him.
Yeah. He's like, you little child.
Yeah.
Like, adolescent child.
I'm going to let you.
Right,
but then I absolutely also loved, what was it? After he freezes his arms and rips them off, and Jax drops down, there's that part where he kind of leans over and then pushes him.
Yep.
And he bounces
and
off.
he bounces his head off of the cracked wall down.
Yeah, I said, well, he's dead. Thank you.
I really like that they also.
Yeah, I said Jax. Bye, Jax.
When you see him lying on the ground, there's like chunks of arm.
Yeah,
I was
chunks
like,
of arm
that's
out.
fucking fantastic. Because so it shows that they get pulled off like right here.
Right.
And then, but they're frozen to his shoulders. So the second they hit the ground, they would have shattered. So I like that they added the details in.
Right.
I also liked the beginning fight with Hanzo before he became Scorpion. I just think they did a fantastic job with that. I think that was one of his better fight scenes. Other than the synchronized part with Cole, which was minimal in comparison to...
And I'll tell you what, you're right. And I think that's another thing that really kind of drags this movie down. They started with such an epic fight scene.
Yeah, you want to start with this
Everything else had to live up to it, and it would have been hard,
because that's high expectations throughout the whole fucking movie.
And for anybody that watched any background information on it, they started with the 2 best fighters, like actual masters.
Well, you said like they knew how to fight.
I wish that they had...
Well, I'm not even talking about that part of it. I'm also talking about when he initially starts fighting the cronies.
The cronies,
No, I agree. But I'm just saying, like, they started with master fighters, and that's why that fight scene, all of it, was so good. I just wish that they had kept that crazy momentum
all the way through the whole movie
for that last fight scene between Sub-Zero and Scorpion too. I'm not saying that fight scene was bad, it just did not live up to the epicness of the first one. It shouldn't have been
Mortal Kombat either.
Well, the thing too is the difference between the 2 fights.
That's what sucks.
Is the first initial fight between them, neither of them used their powers.
True.
Sub-Zero started to.
Right.
At one
point. A little
point.
bit. Yeah, started to.
Right.
But then he didn't. But then you get to the end, and they did that on purpose because obviously they've changed, they've developed,
and that's
which is fine because
to this moment.
I loved again using the power, stabbing him, and then like throwing him through the wall of ice that he just built, and again that scene, and then the first one, the first basically like the first 12 minutes of the movie were fantastic. But
damn it
set the bar. It just set the bar so high that no one else was able to get to.
Like Scorpion should have been fighting everybody. Liu Kang, all of them.
I still think as soon as he wrapped that rope around the
that was
the thing and started using it as a weapon.
Right, that was it.
I was cheering.
I was like, here we go. I'm invested. Where are we going with this now? I was like, yo, give me more.
They're like getting sliced and diced with one blow, and I'm sitting there like,
yeah, this happened.
This is fucking great.
Right. This is it. Boom. And then you see that he goes right with the head.
Yeah.
And pull that bitch.
Straight through the top of the dome. That was fucking...
He's like,
and then like some more story things. Again, they only flyby mentioned 1 character. 2 technically if you consider Johnny Cage because
he was mentioned at the very end kind of
but
right. Sure.
Like Liu Kang had mentioned his master Bo Rai Chao.
Right.
And I'm like, if you're gonna talk about your master, he should be in the fucking movie.
And this is a trope we talk about. Why are you explaining shit instead of you just show me shit? Like, God damn it! Like, this is why we have a problem.
Well, and I still feel like Katana, her absence should have
been
explained.
At the very least, she should have either been in the movie or explained. The Nightwolf one just makes me mad because it means they really can't use him unless they find some way to bring him or his spirit back from the dead.
I'm saying that's like 4 characters that you just kind of just throw out the whole well, that's it.
Well, and then they killed off all these high-named henchmen, but like
the henchmen,
and then they're all gonna come back.
That's the thing. They're gonna come back at some point. There's just no way that they can.
That's my phone, baby.
I'm wondering what I did with my juice.
Which I guess this can lead us into our predictions then.
Right.
Because I do feel like this is gonna feed into the predictions.
True.
Right.
So, Shang Tsung, I almost always call him Shao Kahn. Shang Tsung.
They did have Shao Kahn little thing there. Did you see that?
I wasn't paying that close attention.
Okay, I was. I saw it. It was they had a little sculpture of him.
Oh.
But that was just
no,
that little small nitpick. Sorry, keep going.
No, so Shang Tsung had even mentioned at the end, he was like, even though you've killed my warriors, they will come back.
Right.
And at that point, you see them all start fading away.
Right.
Well, and he's also collecting Sub-Zero's soul at that point.
Well, no. That's what I'm talking about. He took all of his fighters.
Yeah.
It wasn't their souls. You saw this pink thing envelop all of them, and then they just disappeared.
That's right.
I wish he didn't say that. Because we know they're going to come back, but I wish he did not say that.
So here's my problem with this, and where it's going to fuck up any future, actual story tie-ins with how the games actually go.
Damn it.
First off, Sub-Zero is supposed to die.
Yeah,
right.
The whole point.
Full on.
Beyond the first Sub-Zero is supposed to die. Yeah.
Full on dead.
Right.
And his brother is supposed to take the mantle. And his brother becomes a good guy, which then the bad guys convince Scorpion to be a bad guy due to some underhanded tactics.
Right.
So they kind of role reverse.
Right.
Yeah.
One, we never got heard word or anything of Sub-Zero having a brother.
Right.
Yeah, that's
Not
crazy.
once. They never talked about it.
Right. I mean, they may do the pop-in explanation, which, by the way, sucked, in Annihilation, where they're all ready to fight Sub-Zero, and then he's like, no, actually, I'm here to help.
Right.
And you're like,
really? Oh, no, how about this? They go, I
would have been, I'm not buying that shit.
We're gonna spend 5 or 10 minutes of exposition from the second brother. I was here from this. Bro, we could be fighting during this time, bro.
Yesterday.
Right. So they took that opportunity away. Now I do think we are going to get Katana in some way, shape, or form.
We better. That is retarded.
At least.
I think they were saving her, but I think the way that they saved her by just completely not mentioning her or showing her was not an accurate depiction, because they did show Melina a fair amount.
Right.
That's all I was saying.
Right. No, but they should. Yeah. Something.
So I think we're gonna get Katana for sure in the next movie.
Right.
Obviously, we're getting Cage.
Right.
In terms of characters that they could bring into it, we had talked earlier. Stryker, I feel, is a possibility to bring in.
Kano could still. Well, you said Kano could come back.
There's
I expect most of the henchmen from this one to come back.
Right.
Better,
just in terms of champions. In terms of champions.
New champions, yeah.
I could definitely see Kenshi coming in.
Kenshi, yeah. I can see that happening, yeah.
Which he was never used in any of the movies, so you might not actually know who he is. But he is also a ninja that's completely blind. He always wears a red blindfold over his eyes. But he uses two katanas. Probably more badass than Daredevil, though.
Yeah, I know, but it sounds very familiar.
Right.
The blind little swordsman.
Blind, red.
Yep, red. You literally.
Two katanas. Yep. What?
I think
all he needs is horns.
I think they could bring, like I said, Kenshi will probably come into it.
Yep.
In terms of the villains, I think they're gonna bring almost everyone back.
Yeah.
We're gonna get Kano back, which he'll probably come in with the new metal faceplate covering the eye that she had stabbed in and had his own spin in it. That's what made that whole part fucked up.
Right.
But so I think we're gonna get the metal.
Like, that is karma, bitch.
Right. Right in the eyeball.
I think we're gonna get metal plate Kano. I think we're probably even going to get Sub-Zero back.
Yeah.
I'm hoping he's not in it long. I hope they at least try to progress that actual storyline of him being gone.
Kill him off and get his brother. Yeah.
Or at the very least, they might kill him at the end of this one, and then bring in their brother in like the third movie if they plan on doing like a trilogy.
Okay.
Right.
Okay.
We're gonna see a tournament.
We better.
Yeah, I'm not sure that it's gonna be. It's gonna be halfway to 3/4 of the way through.
Oh my God, they're gonna just bullshit this tournament.
They gotta go get Johnny Cage at least. At the very least,
we gotta spend 20 minutes exposition of getting Johnny Cage. Johnny Cage, you've been chosen. What the fuck?
Johnny Cage, we've got a star role for you, and he would be like.
I think we're gonna get Cyrax and
yeah.
What was the other one's name?
Fuck. What's the other one's name? I don't know.
Sindel? Cyrax? I don't remember.
Yeah, because there's 3 of them. There's like 3 of them.
I haven't played the games, guys.
No.
All right, I had a quick pause for a bathroom break. Now, so what I was saying, I think Cyrax, and as I actually remembered when coming up from the bathroom, Sector.
He said Sector. I said Sector. Gotcha.
Now, like I said, I do think we're going to get a tournament in this movie.
Oh, yeah.
And I think it's going to end kind of like how the original first Mortal Kombat movie ended. I think the heroes are going to win.
Right.
And I think Shao Kahn's going to come in.
Yeah, whenever
setting up the third movie.
Yep.
Now here's the thing. The third movie, if they do decide to go with the third movie, again, this is just assuming there are going to be more movies, because they said they don't even know for sure if they're going to do a second one.
Right.
It depends on how this one
their
goes.
eggs in one basket right now, hoping this is going to
So, what they may do, if they go to a third movie, I think the third movie is also going to be tournamentless.
Yeah?
Ooh.
I think this is where we're going to see things start to expand a little more. I think we're actually going to see a war between Earth's heroes and Outworld.
Right.
I don't think it's just going to be like, hey, we're fighting in a tournament again.
No,
to try
it's got to be something that's got to just...
It's going to be a bigger, grander scale. We're actually going to be able to see armies of Barakas, because Barakas, while he has always been a character, it is actually like a race within the Outworld.
Right, Tarkata race.
It's the Tarkata, whatever.
Right.
There's a bunch of them that all have knives.
Knives and teeth and everything else in the Bible.
So I think we're going to get a huge war scenario.
Right.
And honestly, I could see it ending in the trilogy.
Really?
But I think they're gonna. I think they're gonna end it in a way they could set up for a sequel if A, it does well,
right,
and B, if people are willing to come back to continue doing it. Because that's always the big thing.
As long as they don't take it in any direction close to Annihilation, I'm cool.
Right. So
Annihilation could have been cool. I mean, like just just like the storyline in terms of taking you to Outworld and stuff like that. Right. It could have been cool. It sucked, but like.
But I could definitely see after the third one them starting to get into the alliance storyline with Quan Chi and Shang Tsung,
right? Trying
to join up, take out both Shao Kahn and Earth's heroes or champions as they call them,
right?
So I could see this easily going 4 movies. I don't think they would go much further after that, because at that point I feel like you run out of stuff to do, because you're gonna not only kill off heroes, because people are gonna have to die.
But you're also going to have some aging out.
You're going to have some people aging out, not wanting to do it anymore. Unless they start pumping these fucking movies out. I mean, if they start pumping them out, we could see 10.
Another 2 more years, then we could be like popping up like, hey, let's go Mortal Kombat 2, guys. Let's go.
Mortal Kombat is one of those stories. I don't feel you could stretch further than 3-4 movies.
Right.
Yeah, I was going to say just 4.
You win, you lose, but people are going to die. So, like, there's just not... You can't keep resurrecting them without that being kind of like a cheesy trope at that point.
Because when he said that, I said, shit.
Yeah. Right.
Here we fucking go, boys.
So, I mean, again, I hope we get a tournament in the second one. It'd be nice.
My prediction is that it is going to be towards the end, and I don't know that it's going to finish like you predicted. Like the first movie, like the original movie ended. I don't think it's necessarily going to have an ending, because I think it might be presented too late in the storyline.
Right. Now, what they could decide to do, instead of going with a full-blown tournament, is do unfortunately, Cole...
Fuck Cole.
Cole, bro. Since he's apparently the main character in these movies, fuck Liu Kang.
Right.
Who's the main character of Mortal Kombat. It'll probably be... Well, it could either be Cole or Cole and Liu Kang.
Can't it be both of them? Just go
versus Shang Tsung.
Right.
And I could definitely see them just being like, instead of doing a full-blown tournament like a lot of us would like to see happen,
right?
I could see it just being like, towards the end of the movie, it being just a final fight.
Right.
This is the Mortal Kombat tournament. You guys versus me, or you versus me, however Shang Tsung decides to do it.
And since we gotta put Cole in there, put Cole, yay.
Face yourself.
But they could also be setting up for Liu Kang to be taking over as the lead role.
Now that Kung Lao's out of the...
Because of Kung Lao's death. Liu Kang is going to have a reason he's going to want to fight Shang Tsung.
Kung Lao about to be a revenant.
Well, I mean, like, yeah, he might grow a spine and step into the role.
Right.
Right. First, you gotta grow a spine first.
I mean,
you gotta get that
he would have the most knowledge out of the group at this point.
Right.
So yeah, he may develop into that. I don't think he was a terrible choice, guys. That's not what I'm saying. Like, I don't think he was nearly as good as the original, and I just wish he had more.
For me, honestly, the big problem I have wasn't necessarily his acting.
Right.
It was his look. He is not shaped correctly as a person. The dude,
he told me this shit. Yeah,
the dude,
we're getting some body shaming.
Oh no, yeah, no. Yeah, let's go.
This bothered me.
Yeah.
The dude flexed and put his hands down in front of him.
All that shit came
His
up
shoulder blades looked like they came up and
like
over
somebody
his shoulders.
Edit them in like
he's a goddamn transformer.
Okay. Do you remember that really, really pretty African American from the original that has his hair in like perfect braids, but he has like almost like tiger eyes?
Right, he was one of the guys on the ship.
He flexes to initiate his battle, and that was one of the things.
This all the shoulder blade shit pop out
in the original movie that I sat there and I was like, and that's just not right.
Exactly.
So I mean, like, I get it. He was a nice specimen until he did that, and then I was like, yeah, I'm scared of you. Like you have wings. I liked his eyes though. I was like, those are pretty. Oh, don't flex. Don't do that.
It's like somebody digitally edit those shoulder pads and like, there you go. Gotta show you some strength.
It is a thing. It's just, you know.
And again, going back to the video game terms that they use so loosely, for Christ's sake.
Yeah.
It annoyed me when dude goes, "You have to test your might."
Oh, that's a trope there too. There's a lot of tropes in this fucking movie. Goddamn, there's really
inside
a lot.
yourself.
Right, we've really been troping throughout this whole movie.
I thought it was perfect that Kano called him Gandalf.
Oh, I love that.
I mean,
that
like,
was perfect.
It fits with the whole look inside yourself trope.
Okay, like, Gandalf. Like, damn. All right, good shot. Bang bang.
And fix Jax's arms.
Just fix.
Just fix them.
Just
there's something
so that
wrong
the
there.
movement is
It's I don't know. The move. Yeah, it's
all weird.
It's honestly the worst CGI you have in the movie. And
that's sad. Damn it, his arms.
Honestly, all you had to do is give him sleeves that look metal, and it would have been fine.
I really did like how they started off as like puny, metal kind of
T-Rex
architecture.
Almost.
Yeah, but it was like the original architecture. It wasn't filled in. It was just the structure. And it's like when you're making something out of clay and you twist wire and foil and use it as the, inside just to hold the things together. I like how they started with that. But yeah, I agree with you that there.
And then as Arcanon kicked in, because that's apparently a thing.
Arcanon MacGuffin kicked in. Hell yeah.
But yeah, then it just became like the movement was slightly off.
Yeah, there was just something about the movement that was off.
I mean, they looked badass. Don't get me wrong. But there was just a slight delay or something in the CGI. Honestly, I really liked the movie.
Right, it seems like we're all ranting, but really, I liked the movie. The movie was cool.
Yeah, but there were definitely, story moments and plot flaws and.
Yeah. Damn.
I think my critiques come based off of waiting 25 fucking years.
Yeah.
For a new Mortal Kombat movie.
An actual love for the original, for the games, the storyline.
Because the original came out in 95.
Right.
That was, let's see, that was 27 years ago.
Almost 30 years, yeah.
Almost 30 years.
guys, hello.
So it's been...
Look, child.
No, we don't look at you.
I think 27 years.
What the fuck?
This is called silent time.
And don't get me wrong, it's definitely was worth the wait in terms of the CGI in general was really well done. The actors did a really good job.
Excellent choice.
My problem just comes mainly from overall the story. The story felt like it kind of pulled it down.
That's where it's lacking. That story.
And no Raiden character development. I need Raiden to be fleshed out as a god or god, whatever the fuck he is.
Man boy.
And then you do all these characters.
Gandalf. Right. As Gandalf.
And then you do all this. You gotta find yourself.
To be fair, he had a thou shalt not pass moment.
He really did.
He did.
Slam the thing down.
And the shield, yeah. I mean, yeah.
Like, Ray, you gotta come and do some work, bro. Like, this is what.
Honestly,
come
that
on.
is, and so he was the Raiden. Christopher Lambert's Raiden was the comic relief in the original, and of course they used Kano for this one. Honestly, I don't think that was a bad choice. Right. I just agree with you that like his manipulative tactics to get them in place and this, that, and the other. He was also a badass fighter. should have been fleshed out a little bit more, or there should have been excuses why he wasn't there, kind of like Katana. Like, you just... I feel like they put so much emphasis on the fight scenes and the CGI.
They didn't care about the story.
And stuff like that they left plot holes because they didn't
Michael Bay Transformers.
Yeah, I mean... Which, honestly, again, it doesn't make it a bad movie.
No.
It just makes it one of those that's puzzling for people that have waited 30 years. We got a prequel.
If anything, it would affect you guys the most, because you guys are like, bro, we've been waiting for this for a minute now.
Instead of a combat, we got a prequel. We got... Granted, I loved how they started the whole thing with, like, the prequel, and so on and so forth. I just kind of wish there was one of the things that got me was Cole's flashes, where he is seeing Scorpion in hell.
Right, he's literally having like a moment. Right.
Yeah, and it's kind of almost like Scorpion's trying to make contact with him or give him visions. They didn't flesh that out at all.
Yeah, we don't know what that was. I was like, what the hell was... And then it just went away.
I mean, like, it seems like maybe that's how they were introducing the concept of what his Arcana was going to be.
Right.
But my problem is, I think if you're going to do those flashes in the first place, there should have been a moment of, like... He could have just said, call me when you need me, or like, use me, or something that told you that he was waiting...
Right.
Well, something that was really cool, and this is something that I didn't think about until I talked with people about it. Do you notice Scorpion didn't come until Cole cut himself on the kunai?
I told you that.
Was it you?
Yeah.
Right
as it happened, I was like, it was a blood calling.
Yeah, he cut his hand.
That was pretty
Scorpion
interesting.
Popped up.
And then he just like appeared, like damn, like a demon, like literally like a demon.
No, because you saw. So when Raiden gave him the blade, he told him that it had Scorpion's blood on it.
Right.
But it wasn't until Cole's and Sub-Zero's blood, because it was Sub-Zero's hand that started glowing and stuff when he was like Hanzo's blade, you know?
Right.
And that was what called him from hell. So, I mean, it was almost like a... Oh. Yeah.
Something else I wish they would have done.
Summoning, that's what I was
This is another thing I was disappointed with. Again, Sub-Zero should have died. And it would have been really cool for Scorpion to drag him to hell.
Oh, kind of like a Ghost Rider moment.
Right. Because if you think about it, if you think about it, Scorpion's finishers,
yeah.
In
a new Mortal Kombat
games, he's always had one that's like a hand that comes out and grabs you and pulls you down.
Yeah.
Yep. One of his finishers.
So I think it would have been cool for him to use that.
Oh, see, I would have liked that shit. Just and pull him. Like, where are you going? To hell.
Which brings me to another finisher, which we've all talked about, that I want to see in the next movie, or the one after.
Right.
I want to see Liu Kang fighting with somebody, but I want them to be in a building.
Right.
Where there's a valid
there needs
explanation.
There needs to be
none of these fights
there needs to be like maybe you don't even have to necessarily know what's upstairs, but I would love for them to
see flashing lights or something.
Well, you wouldn't even need that because they'd be downstairs in a room, and they could be sitting there fighting, and the dude just gets all woozy, and all of a sudden you see Liu Kang like throw a fireball up at the ceiling. And then a hole where the fireball hits, and then an arcade machine flies down and crushes the person.
Nice.
And then you could actually kind of peep up through the hole and see other arcade machines up there.
Peering down through the hole.
And the little kids be like, damn, what happened?
That is one finishing move I would love to see fleshed out from the games, just because I've always been entertained by it.
Right, but with like a valid explanation.
But if you do it in this way, it's a valid explanation as to how he was able to pull it off. So it's kind of both a callback and
you have to see what's up top. You're like, oh man, I didn't know it was an arcade down there. Fuck, Betsy got hit.
Well, and that's why I was saying, like, if you had a scene where they were entering the building, you could see like flashing lights, not know what it was, but like something that it's an Easter egg.
And one more finisher this movie I felt desperately should have had, because it is his most popular one, but he never got to kill anybody to actually use it. I want to see Sub-Zero rip someone's spine out.
Oh, when he just rip it right off.
Although I have to say, I did like Sonya's finishing move on Melina, And like, there's this.
Oh
perfect,
yeah, and she got blasted.
But so she had the perfect hole through her.
Right, they're perfect.
Except for her spine was right there. Like for some reason, all the rest of the rib cage, all the bones, everything was gone except for this perfect spine.
Perfect spine.
Now I thought that was cool as fuck.
Right.
Poor Melina.
So.
Fuck, man, this movie, bro.
Over and above all, I did enjoy the movie. It was a good movie.
It was good.
Originally, the original Mortal Kombat, when I first saw it and growing up with it, I would have given a 7.
Right.
Looking back now, I would probably have to drop that down to like a 5.
4. Oh, 5? Okay.
I'd probably say about a 5.
5, all right.
In terms of if you really think about it and you actually watch it, guilty pleasure or not,
Right.
It's not that good of a movie. It's definitely better than
for
Annihilation.
For 95, it was damn good.
Annihilation would be like Annihilation would be like a 0.5.
Oh, it's awful.
But I would have
Johnny, that's a negative.
Bro. I would
what
have
they
to.
did to Katana's mom.
Right. You.
What was she wearing?
I don't know what the hell that was, bro.
But
a sexy skimpy outfit.
Realistically,
yeah, but it was like a poorly made one.
It was a poorly made sexy skimpy outfit.
Right.
It was like Halloween costume
it's
right
like
there.
Cosplay.
So,
No. Some cosplayers make their own shit, and it's fucking fantastic. Sorry, baby.
Sorry, go ahead, Nick. Sorry.
No, you can go ahead.
No.
You guys just kept going back and forth. I was gonna let you finish.
No, we were
Finish.
So realistically, I would drop Mortal Kombat down to a 5.
Okay.
I would put this new one at a 7.
Okay.
Right.
In today's day and age, I do think it was leaps and bounds better than the original overall.
Yeah.
I still feel like there was so much it had to live up to that it just did not reach.
Right.
And again, first 5 minutes of the movie.
And I explained to him, because Ralph is very much a person who, like, every movie he wants to see has to be in theaters. And I told him, I was like, dude, if you want to spend the money, do it. But I'm telling you, I don't think this is theater worthy.
This is going to show you I didn't go and saw
he ended up watching it at home and being like, you were right.
Fuck it.
Now, I did make the comment, and this was not to Ralph, but when Nick told me about that, I was like, I could see seeing it in theaters for the fight scenes.
Right.
Not for the plot. Because the fight scenes were, like we said, most of them were fantastic.
So he's got the plot to show me the fight scenes.
Some
of the fight scenes. Let's go.
A lot of people fall in love with even cheesier movies if they see them in the theater, because there are moments that are huge screen and surround sound worthy. That's yeah. But I would have to, generally speaking, agree with your ranking of them. It hurts my soul.
Because you know what? She likes this shit.
To drop the original
down. Original Mortal Kombat.
Because, like I said at the beginning of this, the first movie has been like a guilty pleasure / comfort movie. Like, anytime I'm sick, like, and I mean sick, which I don't get the flu very often.
But you just pop it in.
I had the damn thing on VHS. You don't know what that is, so
wait.
No, you can be silent over there. You don't know what VHS is.
VHS. I didn't. Wait, hold on. I had it for like 3 seconds.
Yeah,
literally 3 seconds.
So I owned it on VHS, and that is before they came out with VHS DVD players.
Oh God.
One of my favorite movies is a 5 at best too. It's one of my comfort movies, and that's Predator 2.
Oh, Predator 2,
I love that one too. So okay, but. You're right. I mean, like, if you look back on it now, it was incredibly well done for 95.
Right.
But it's still, the CG is not great. The suits, like, for Prince Goro, not...
And if you go back, we were watching it. I think I started watching it with you. I was watching somebody that was talking about scenes from it, and they were showing scenes from it. Some of the fight scenes were like, they had the dude that was just...
I know.
Right.
Where Prince Goro has his hand on...
No.
Oh.
It's like, it's one of the small room fights when somebody's fighting off somebody up close, and they're sitting there just moving and not doing anything. And it's
and it is definitely cheesy. Like, I think that is the thing about this new movie. While they put some of the lines and it made it kind of cheesy, the overall thing was not cheesy. It was way more realistic as far as you want to take that. Whereas, even the fight scene where it is choreographed with Johnny Cage in the beginning, where he's like, and this is the part you fall down, and then he uses that later with Prince Goro.
Right.
Like, it's a cheesy fucking movie.
Right. You
but
just broke my $100
those glasses were $500,
right.
asshole.
I'm also really,
Nutshot.
I'm also really looking forward to at some point.
Yeah, I better see that too.
I think we're gonna get Shiva in the second movie.
That would be cool.
That'd be cool.
But I'm really looking forward to what I'm hoping in the third movie is Kentaro.
Okay, Kentaro.
Because Kentaro is the he's also much like Goro, except he's got a tiger face.
Yeah, he's got a tiger face.
Right.
And
And
I remember we see Ermac too.
I would love to see all the ninjas. At
but
some
it
point.
does hurt me. You're right. It's I'm gonna give it a 5.5. The original.
She's like, I rate a little higher.
I can't do it.
She can't do what we about to say. Like, 4 or 5. But nah, bro. This is where I draw the line.
Do it. But I'm also giving it a little bit higher ranking just because it was made in 95. Like, like for what they had.
It gets a 5 for 95.
Yeah.
5 for 95.
However, this new one, the plot structure really is the
don't be honest with it. Yeah.
Well, it's the part that drags it down. The rest of it, even some of the fight scene stuff that we've spoken about,
that's sad, man.
would have been elevated had the plot been better.
Yeah.
Right.
So, I mean, we wouldn't have been quite as persnickety about it, I guess. So, oh God. And I really liked it, guys. You know what? This is Saturday. It came out.
Yep. Not be real.
I've already seen it 4 times.
See, look, how about this? She's seen it 4 times, y'all. See, so that's something.
So here's the thing: we're gonna end up watching a lot while it's still free.
Yeah, exactly. I only have 29 more days. Shush. But I've already seen it 4 times, and so obviously I enjoy it a hell of a lot. But with the plot holes, I'm gonna give it a 6.5.
Damn.
Okay.
And I really I agree with you. I think that the actors were amazing. The choices were amazing. The storylines that they gave most of them were amazing. Lou is the only one that I feel like the storyline itself was a little lacking. Because the original, he's raised as the next champion.
Right.
And he's raised in, so I mean, I kind of feel like there's just some lacking there. I don't like that they didn't give backstories or excuses for certain things, Raiden not being developed. But in general, I thought their looks were amazing.
Kano was perfect.
The outfits that they gave them, they did a really good job. Damn. I really feel like the martial arts masters of Scorpion and Sub-Zero, they're what gets it the higher marks.
Yeah, because if it didn't have that, we probably...
they were...
Oh, God, it would have been ugly.
And they are the weird dynamic, and I say weird because, come on, let's be real. People that start off as fighters...
Right.
A lot of them don't do character acting very well. They are themselves. They use moves that they use in real life, or they use lines, or they're just kind of displaced, kind of slightly cheesy. These guys were fabulous. Right. Fabulous at their jobs, fabulous at acting, fabulous with the martial arts, so they get much higher points for that.
Ralphus, what's your rating?
You're allowed to talk now. You're on.
Do it. You're done. Oh, I can speak now.
Revoked,
I'm back because she said VHS. You only heard for 3 seconds. Just 3 seconds.
Your rating is mine.
Oh God, my rating is gonna be.
Rate the movie.
Well, what's the original? Okay.
It's a 4.
It's fine. We're not gonna.
It's a 4. It's a 4.
I mean, we've already disowned you, so it's not like.
Yeah.
And this is for completely unrelated stuff.
Just because I done fucked up. That's why. But yeah, I gave the original a 4, but the new one, it's a 5 because it was cool. The fight scenes were there, but like I said, the story kind of it fell flat, and that's what a lot of people are probably gonna say throughout, like all, even just not even our reaction, but all of them. They're all gonna say the story, like, damn, like hidden. You had too much. we gotta do this. We gotta talk. I'm like, bro, where is the let's go? Like, I'm ready. That's what I came to see.
Show, don't
right,
tell.
Show, don't tell. Like you said, like, damn. Even though I am a sucker for a flawless victory and Kano win shit.
I can understand the show, don't tell. The problem wasn't the telling; it was that they weren't telling.
Right.
Excuse me, they weren't telling nothing either.
They didn't do enough showing,
right?
But they also didn't
do enough telling, and that's why it really fell flat. And that's
what's so sad is they had the plot lines.
Damn, like the writing was so right
like
there.
It was there, and then they just didn't finish it. They didn't flesh it out. They didn't take off with this brilliant concept, and then they did like. The things that they did flesh out were the wrong things, like Sonya having all the answers. Like, no, like that's a storyline you should have left unfinished.
And then the ages, where are we at here? Are you 100? Are you 1,000? The fuck, bro? Like, why is there so many ages?
That's why they wrote the timeline at the bottom.
Fuck that shit. I didn't like that either. The timeline confuses shit on me too.
So to let you know, Sub-Zero. Was like 400 years old.
Yeah. Oh God.
Same with Scorpion.
I thought he'd be older than him.
No, it was 1612 was when they were originally in the clan war.
Now I'm thinking like to myself like because he looks old. Oh damn. Okay, exactly.
Well, he was in hell.
No.
For fuck's sake.
No,
do you want exact ages? Okay, so Hanzo was 42 when he was killed. So he is now 460. 5.
I was gonna say 8.
I mean, okay, so obviously we need a little bit more backstory and maybe a narrator because some people can't read.
No, so
he's as not you can old see, enough.
No, not yet. I'm still 12.
So as you can see, I'm the optimistic one in this situation. I thought the movie was good.
Oh God.
I don't know.
She thought it was okay.
I only took half a point off.
And Ralph up and shit on it.
Wait a minute.
Ralph is literally on the fence about it.
Like I'm on the.
He is a squatter, right on the fence. Like
he's sitting on the fence, but his ass shit.
Right, just like ass open
on the wrong side.
Just like on the side, like, hey guys, don't mind me.
And honestly, the only reason I took that half a point more off than you was that plot twist with Sonya having all the answers.
Right.
The rest of it, yeah, I have a problem that they didn't flesh it out. I have a problem that they didn't excuse some absences, whatever. But that one was one that did not need to be resolved.
You don't have all the answers, Slay.
It needed to be left open. Yeah, exactly.
You don't got all the answers.
But again, like I said, I loved it. I've already seen it 4 times.
Yeah, she's seen it 4 times. I'm gonna watch it again.
And it's not that I'm not optimistic. I really want the next one.
Yeah, I do. How about this? I want the next one. I do want to see that part 2, but I don't know.
I hope that because they didn't have a next one already kind of lined up because they were waiting to see fans' reactions.
Right.
I'm really hoping that they pay attention to the critiques and fill in some shit and not do this like
we're done.
This explain away what happened in the first movie. No, don't do that.
No,
Actually come up with a plot that explains
give me a plot here.
Yeah.
So several plot holes.
Yeah.
CGI that is so good that when it is bad, it's noticeable.
Right.
Yeah.
And then character development was fleshed out.
It was just a little glitchiness with his arms, but with everything else.
And then
it
the
was
one
like,
fireball.
Boom, boom.
Right. Here you go. I'm gonna light the way. Where are we at, bro? You can do that. Character development, like I said, fleshed out. So the
character development was good for some
characters,
terrible for a few others.
A lot.
Not even there for a few others. Even Raiden was not even there. It's like they focused so drastically on some and made them fabulous.
Now, something I would have loved to have seen them do.
Mm-hmm.
Then this is my last critique. I got to pee again. Something I would have loved to have seen them do. I would have loved to have seen several of these characters. If they're going to do backstories, give them their own movies.
Oh.
They could have gone the MCU route. They could have given Liu Kang a movie. They could have given Raiden a movie. They could have given Shang Tsung a movie.
This could have been Scorpion's Revenge.
Because now, honestly, the movie that probably would have interested me the most would have probably been Sonya's movie. It would have been a cop movie. Because it could have been.
And honestly, Stryker and everybody.
Honestly, it could have been her, Jax, Stryker.
Right.
We would have seen all together.
But see, I think that would have worked because then you'd have a Kung Lao / Liu Kang / Raiden. Because they're all in the temple. You
could have started with Sonya Blade and be like, well, there's a mysterious character roaming around. Sub-Zero
then they could have had a ninja movie specifically that focused around both Sub-Zero and Scorpion to actually fully flesh out their stories so we know why they're warring.
Right, like, as humans, as clans,
And all of them could have ended in a way that was set up for
Mortal Kombat.
Right. And then Mortal Kombat comes in.
Because we would have knew every single fucking character here.
So it wouldn't have had to have been a separate movie per character because you can group them in almost triples for most of it, and I think that would have been because this one would have made an excellent
and then they could
Sub-Zero Scorpion movie.
And then they could have done an Outworld movie where we actually would have got to see Shao Kahn, Shang Tsung, Katana, Melina.
They
would have been
able to... could have been like a low rank person before.
Because with Outworld it would have given them, you can focus on a few different storylines just to build them up.
Build them up, man. Damn.
Well, and also with the Sub-Zero Scorpion one, then maybe you can develop a little bit of like Raiden taking the and this ancestry.
It honestly could have ended like that.
Yeah, he took the baby.
Well, and you end up seeing him drop it off wherever, because it didn't show where he dropped it off. He just said to Cole, "That's where I took it." But yeah, you could have seen like.
Because, and this is something else I was thinking of, especially with these movies, if they could have started again way further back, maybe when they're young. And growing up into their lifestyles that they're going into.
Why the clans end up warring.
Why the clans are warring. And honestly, that opening fight scene, and of course, and especially with what led into it with Scorpion's family being killed.
Right.
Could have been
that fighting scene could have been the ending fight scene. And I would have loved to have seen the movie.
Damn.
I would have loved to have seen that movie end. With Scorpion's death, and then Raiden getting the child, looking back, maybe not even looking back at the camera, but looking down, doing his little lightning thing. He disappears, and that could have been it. And that would have been like, that's the ninja movie.
I would have been pissed.
You would have, but it would have.
I hate cliffhangers. I would have been pissed. It would have been fabulous.
It would have been fabulous,
but I would have been so mad.
Like, what?
I'm legit just mad thinking. I mean, it would have been incredible.
We just critiqued this whole movie like, damn it, this could have been.
It was still really good. Right.
It would have took 10 years, but that's what we would have wanted.
It did surpass my expectations because honestly, with Annihilation and a lot of the adaptations of games to movies, there is not a good track record.
No.
So it did surpass my expectations in terms of what has come before.
Right.
Well, to be fair, Mortal Kombat Legacy was fantastic.
I didn't see that. Though.
For little 10-15 minute shorts.
Right.
Okay. But other than that, like it still had its problems, obviously.
Right. All right, guys. So with that being said, fun time sitting here with you guys.
You guys are awesome.
I guess watch the movie and judge for yourself. Everyone's got their own thoughts.
Yeah, don't take our
give it a whirl. I'm still gonna keep watching it.
Yeah, hell we'll watch
it. Never fully go based off of what critics say because their opinions of movies may be different than yours. Again, I loved Assassin's Creed as a movie, and most people hate it.
They trashed 13 Ghosts.
Right.
13 Ghosts.
What the fuck is wrong with that?
See, look, I like 13 Ghosts.
Everybody I know likes that.
That's a good movie. But people say, "Oh, I fucking hate it." I'm like, why?
But yeah, if you haven't seen it and we've completely ruined it for you, go watch it anyways. It's at least worth watching once, especially as Christina told us, or Christy from work. She said there have actually been people, and I would agree with this, that the best time to watch it is right before the next one comes out because
then
it's like a continuation. There it is, boom.
But watch it for the fight scenes. Watch it for the first half hour.
Blood and gore. It has some blood and gore in there. Watch it with blood and gore. Fuck it, boom. Let's go.
You like seeing people cut in half.
Rip the shreds.
Arms pulled off. I mean, this is the movie for that.
I think I said oh my god, that was brutal. Right. This is fucking amazing.
Fucking amazing, brutal shit, man.
He's like, you are the perfect kind of depraved.
But yeah, go watch the movie and let us know down below what you thought. So with that being said, we love y'all. Thank y'all for watching.
This is Ralph with Hella Depraved.
Also, what I'm probably going to do, I'm actually probably going to upload this on the Hella Depraved channel.
Oh, you gonna see
I was just thinking about this. I'm probably uploading this on the Hella Depraved channel. It's going to link you to the actual Marvel Media podcast channel we do.
Okay.
Just so Like, this is the type of stuff you can expect from our Marvel podcast.
Smart as hell. Right. I've never thought that.
So with that being said, we love y'all.
Cleavage.
Right. Usually it's just me and Ralph for that. With that being said, we love y'all. Thank y'all for watching, and we'll see y'all later.
Out.
Excelsior!
You guys are